Hey buddies, I'm Flak here coming at you with another Borderlands 3 video. Today I'm going to be showing you the new improved Nova Berner build that we have with Zane. If you guys aren't familiar with that build, click up on the top right. This is a build that is able to deal 750 million damage or more with each Nova, and the way that we do that is a couple of combination of gears. Now before we get into it, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. You have no idea how much it helps me out. And let's get into it. I want to real quick show you a demonstration on how to optimize the most damage as possible with these simple items. You want an elemental projector deathless, any type of action skill end. I'm using radiation. I like to use a conductor because it will be increasing our damage even further, as I'll explain later. And I use a guardian angel with a U-Rat anointment. Now all you got to do is activate your barrier, activate elemental projector on yourself, and then just go to town with the Novas. And right there, Grave Ward's done for. Now this build has been improved upon much more significantly than it has in the past. In the past, we've had damage capped at 550 million. Now we can cap it around 700 million plus because of the conductor. Our last build was actually really similar setup, but we did not use URAD, this action skill end for radiation or conductor. And on top of that, we're using a Nova Berner that has Nova rolls on it. Now the Nova rolls on it allow it to deal another Nova when it breaks. Now this is a little bit unexpected, but the Novas that are procced based on this roll don't happen instantaneously. So I'm going to show you real quick. I'm going to activate my Mantis Cannon and you'll see one Nova, and a few seconds later you saw another Nova. So that second Nova right there is because of the Nova rolls. Now the Nova rolls only occur a few moments after it breaks. The Nova Berner has in itself a Nova that activates as soon as shield breaks and fills. And if you guys aren't familiar with how this build works, the Nova Berner with action skill start activate any effects that trigger on shield break or fill allow the Nova Berner to actually proc twice every single time we shoot out a Nova. Now, it's very hard to see, so I'm going to go over to the Jack Dummy so you guys can see what I'm talking about. Now, the reason why we're going to the Jack Dummy is because most enemies die in one Nova, so you don't actually get to see the damage numbers from two Novas unless you're killing a boss. Now, the Jack Dummy is the easiest way to show this. So when we activate our Nova, you'll see two sets of numbers spawn. I'm going to pause it real quick so you can see. If you look at the dummy, you see two 1 millions and then two numbers behind it that are exactly the same, 534k. So on the Jack Dummy, we aren't able to see the full amount of damage that the Novas actually deals. The amount of damage that the Novas deal on the Jack Dummy is a huge scale down on what we just saw. On Grave Ward, you saw that it dealt millions upon millions of damage. Now the Jack Dummy scales a little bit weirdly with Novas, so you won't get to see the full damage numbers on the Jack Dummy, but the important part is that you see the numbers here. There are two reoccurring numbers happening, and the reason for that is because the action skill start anointment on the shield, right here, the anointment. If you look at my shield bar on the bottom left, every single time I activate the action skill, you'll see it deplete and then immediately replenish. So I'm going to show you real quick. Now it's very hard to see, so you got to look at it real closely, but I'm going to keep spamming it so you guys can keep seeing it. You see it keeps triggering the numbers. On few instances, you can see it go to 0 for maybe a split second, like a few frames, but the main important part is that you see the shield have this little animation that grows the shield with opacity down. That basically means that, hey, I'm filled, but it also has this animation that says, hey, I'm broke. So as you can see right there, based on the numbers, and based on the visualization of the gauge, it's actually filling and depleting at the same time with the action skill, which means since the Nova procs a Nova on shield break and fill, every single time we activate our action skill, it's going to send two Novas out, which is insane. The main key thing here that is allowing us to deal more damage than before is the conductor. Now the conductor has this amazing ability is that when we have our action skill duration out, we get 50% shock damage, which is the max, based on our remaining duration of our action skill. Because of that, you want to have a shield or any action skill. I like to use a shield because the shield can explode with the Nova when it spawns. So that's very, very fun. And it's also very protective because we are running a deathless. This means that we won't have a lot of HP, so we need as much protection as possible just in case. Now, while this is active, we'll get shock damage on the enemies as well. And that also allows you to put shock damage on yourself with the hazardous sellout, which is very, very useful because if we have shock and fire. We're going to get elemental projector bonuses from the conductor bonus damage and the Nova, which is just very, very good. The excellent part about the rolls on the Nova Berner, as you guys saw before, and as I've said multiple times, is that the shield breaks and fills, sending out 2 Novas, and then a few seconds after it sends another Nova. So every single time we do this, it sends technically 3 Novas. And that delayed Nova is actually a lot more useful than you would think. The reason why I say that is because if for some reason you get downed because you're running a deathless build, and that we are also having a lot of secondary stats that increase the area of effect range, which means that when we detonate a barrel, the barrel is more than likely going to hit us. And because of that, we're going to get downed. If we get downed, we don't have to worry as much because we'll have a Guardian Angel out, which scales really, really weirdly with Novas, as I'll explain in a few moments. After we get downed, we'll send out another Nova, more than likely killing the enemy if there's any enemies around, so we don't have to worry about that. So those 2 rolls of Nova on the Nova Berner is actually really, really good. Kudos to you guys who recommended that on this build, and kudos to other people for recommending the conductor. But I also have another person by the name of Sick Will Hermstead, I believe that's how you're supposed to say it, or Slick Will Hermstead. I'll show it on the screen. He recommended trying to use an infiltrator. Now, on the surface, that sounds like a really good idea. So the reason why this sounds like such a great idea is because the infiltrator will basically send another Nova after the Nova Berner procs, because it depletes our shields. Now, the bad part with that is that, well, the pros to that is that we get 3 Novas and then a 4th one after a few seconds of delay. Now, the bad problem with that is very easy to see. As soon as I activate this, my shields are now at 0. Sure, they come back really quickly because we have lots of points into recharge delay, but with this setup, we are not able to take use of the elemental projector. As you can see right here, the shields get depleted and we die immediately. So there's no way for us to get any benefits from the elemental projector. Because of that, our total DPS is going to suffer. Now, I did some tests with the Grave Ward with this setup, and the 3 Novas only send when the shield is completely full. So the 3 Novas don't even make that much of a difference because it's only going to be your first proc of the shield that sends the 3 Novas. I did some testing on Grave Ward to see if we could kill the boss with this setup. Most of the time, I can get the boss to just a sliver to death, which is unfortunate because despite the 1 extra Nova, it shows and proves that the Infiltrator is not the go-to class mod for this build. It was a very interesting idea, and I think it was very, very cool, but the Conductor is definitely the 100% a way to go because you get free 50% bonus shock damage on all your Novas, and on top of that, you get 5 more points into Adrenaline, which increases your action skill cooldown rate, and we need action skill cooldown rate as much as possible because we want to get our Mantis Cannons out as much as possible, aka recharging our charges. Now, if you guys are interested, here's my build. I'm not going to explain it too much because I did explain it very, very well in my last explanation for this build, but I'll just briefly show you all the skill trees. We go all the way down to Calm, Cool, and Collected on green, go all the way down to Sheer Will on purple, go down to Seeing Red on blue, which is crucial, and then we get to the second tier on the red tree for more points in the Donnybrook. If you guys want an explanation on why that's the ideal setup, click on the top right to look at the video as well. And finally, let me explain how the Guardian Angel scales with Novas. So the Novas are very interesting with the Guardian Angel because the Guardian Angel recommends us to be as far away as possible. Because of this, we can't actually get the full benefit of the Guardian Angel at all times on face value. So because of this, when we activate a Nova, we are only getting a certain percentage from the Guardian Angel to increase the Novas. As I showed in my last video, even if we're close to the enemy, the Guardian Angel kind of reacts a little bit different and increases the weapon damage on the Nova in weird ways, where our damage will increase by 3 times even if we're close to the enemy, which is really, really funky. If you guys want a good demonstration on that, once again, click the video on the top right. I don't want to rehash the same information over and over and over. This was mainly to show a new and improved version of this build and how we can deal even more damage. If you guys are interested, here's the secondary stats on this. Here's the secondary stats on that. Here's my Guardian ranks and my Mayhem level. If you guys are interested in this build, there of course will be a save file in the comments and description. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, and I hope y'all have a great day. Bye-bye. And the last shall be first to immerse in a pass out heat, facing him up with a moxie melt till he woke up drowning in tchotchke hell. War in a cave with a torch on a wall, then a window arrangement of porcelain dolls.